Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you, finally home from my trip over in Estonia. And man, breaking news in Clash Royale. I brought on one of my favorite guests, one of your favorite guests, to talk about it a little bit, and it is none other than Woody. Woody, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Jealous about that awesome Euro trip you got to make, but I'm really looking forward to some big changes in Clash Royale and can't wait to talk about them with you.
Yeah, so let's start on the table. I just watched a video by the other Ash, and it was short, sweet. I'm going to link it in the description, and basically, he put all the puzzle pieces together, and it looks like the community manager of Clash Royale, Tim, kind of gave a little leak. Like I said, if you put all the pieces together, thankfully I didn't have to do it, and it looks like the next big update, and when I say big, I mean big, is going to be something called Team Battles. So, what are your first impressions of this, Woody?
I am so excited for this. You know, the biggest update that Clash of Clans ever saw was the introduction of Clan Wars, and it looks like the Clash Royale team is tending toward that for Clash Royale as well. You know, they talked a little bit more in one of the recent developer Q&As about introducing esports types of events, and I think that the 1v1 is a great format for just quick play, you know, hop on the ladder, hop off, but a lot of the matches in other games that we've come to see, and a lot of the competitive events that we've seen in Clash Royale have been team-based. We have Clan Royale League, the Clan Royalty Championship Series, Royale Premier League. A lot of these are team-based, either 3v3 or 5v5, or in some cases 7v7 events. And it looks like the Clash Royale developer team is coming on board. They've introduced two little screenshots. Like you said, Tim showed the left side and the right side of a new button that's going to be in game, and it looks like it says Team Battle. We're not 100% sure, but that's definitely what I'm leaning toward it being. So, yeah, man, I'm super excited for it, and I'm looking forward to discussing the possibilities of what this new feature could be.
Yeah, there's so many different directions to go to. By the way, I'll flash up the little clues that we got on the screen right now so you guys can see what we're talking about. But you know, first of all, oh my God, I mean, this is one of those things, by the way, you hit the nail on the head with Clash of Clans. It was, you know, a year and a half or 2 years after the game was introduced that we saw Clan Wars, which really took the game to the next level. That's when it really blew up, and I really think this could be that big new game feature update in Clash Royale 2. Just kind of throwing ideas out there because we really don't know what it could be right now. So do you think it would be 2v2, 3v3, or even bigger? Or what do you think would make the most sense?
What I think would make the most sense would be players from the same clan or who are friends with each other being able to join up and create kind of teams on an ad hoc basis. I think that we would be most likely to see multiples of or an odd number of players, I should have said there, a 3v3 or a 5v5. That's the easiest way to make sure that at least one team edges out ahead, you know, in the overall competition. Otherwise, you could get a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw, something like that.
All right, I'm gonna blow your mind here, Woody.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm not, but I don't think we're talking about this. I think that it's different than what you think it is.
Oh.
I think that it might be 2 or 3 or 4 players playing at the same exact time in the same exact arena against.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I first thought of. But you're thinking more of like a tournament style type thing built into the game.
You know, that was my assumption, but I guess that's not really based in any reality beyond you know, just what I've experienced thus far. Yeah, if we saw multiple players engaging in 1v1 battles and they totaled it up at the end, that would be somewhat similar to what we see in Clan Wars with Clash of Clans. It would be a big hurdle from a development side to be able to implement something that allowed multiple players to be able to play on the same side of the arena in like a 2v2 format or something even bigger than that. It would be a lot of fun, and people have discussed it before, and you know, there's been implementations in other games. The Star Wars Force Arena has got a pretty nice 2v2 format where it just has 3 lanes instead of 2 lanes. So that could easily be, you know, ported into Clash Royale. But I don't know, that would be a really big step forward. 2v2 would be a lot of fun. My you know, assumption though is that when I think team battle, I'm not thinking just 2 players. I'm thinking of you know, a bigger squad, and the fact that clans have 50 players max makes me you know, want to think that it's somehow linked into clans and going to include more players than that. But Damn, that would be a really cool feature if we could get multiple people in the same match.
Yeah, like, okay, so well, we need your feedback, guys. What do you think it is? What was your first impressions? What did you think it was? What Woody thought, that kind of like a tournament mode type thing, that an infrastructure built inside the game, or did you think what I thought, like playing at the same time as one another? I guess let's talk briefly about both formats because we don't know what it could be. Let's start it with mine. If you're playing, let's say, with 3 lanes, 2 players, I mean, it really changes the entire game, right? I mean, it's incredible because everything changes. You're working alongside another player against 2 other players. Everything becomes more complex. What decks do you use that synergize well together? How does the meta change? Is there still single player matches? I'm sure there would be, you know. It sounds like it's just a new game, or what I thought is it would be a totally new game mode. What do you think? Do you think it even makes sense to do that? Do you think it would be enjoyable?
I think it would be. I think it would be a whole lot of fun if you just had like a 2v2 format, right? Where you have
that'd be the
lanes.
best. Yeah.
Each player has their own elixir pool, their own deck that they build. But instead of just having the 2 lanes to fight on, maybe one player would play the left side. They'd be able to play on the left bridge and the center bridge, and then the other player would play on the right side, right? They'd have the right bridge and the center bridge. So you would each have something to kind of fight for, and you'd have your own independent individual lane that you have to focus on. But then there'd still be that opportunity to play into the center, try to make a big push, combining forces, to go drill into the enemy base. Now, if there were 2 players playing at the same time, Ash, do you think that we would see 2 King Towers or just 1 that you would both have to defend?
I'm thinking just 1. Because then, but who knows? But like, I'm sure if they did introduce a feature like this, they'd probably play test both of those, variations and see what one works best. But, just totally off the top of my head, I'm thinking one big King Tower and maybe just 3 towers, or I don't know how it would be, but I just can imagine all like the different meta strategy that goes into a 2v2 match. And I think it just would be incredible in terms of, like you kind of touched upon there, how you play each lane, and does it become a battle of really making sure that each player is responsible for defending the 2 side lanes, and then the action happens in the center? Is it even comparable to like MOBAs and like of a game like Vainglory, or a game like all those games, right? And I don't know. I just think that might be, regardless of what the format would be, I think it might be a huge step, like you said, in the direction of an esportsy type game going 2v2. I mean, just think of the live events. How cool would it be seeing the best players in the world, 2 of them, versus 2 other of the best players in the world? It's almost overwhelming.
It is. And the one thing that makes me think that this is a little bit less likely to happen than just the 1v1 team format is the fact that it would get a little tricky with the communication. You'd really have to, almost read your friend's mind to know if they're going to be playing the counter to that big attack coming in the center. If they are dropping a rocket at the same time that you play a wizard or something to try to get a lot of splash damage in one place, and then you wind up overcommitting on defense, that could be a very big logistical hurdle to having the 2v2 battle format work well. So maybe it's possible. I'm leaning toward it still being a 1v1 format.
Yeah, I don't want to hype it up too much. So let's talk about let's talk about the other idea, the other possibility, that it's just a new format in the game, like on top of tournament mode, on top of friendly battles, on top of ladder play. How do you think the Clash team would go about adding a team battles? You said it would be more clan oriented, you thought, and they said that they're working on more clan oriented stuff coming, so it kind of makes sense. What do you think the best format would be inside the game in terms of appealing to a large audience? Because you have to think about the casual players too, right? It can't be too complex. So what do you think? I'm sure you thought a lot about tournaments. I mean, you're one of the go-to casters in the entire game. So what do you think would make sense inside the game, especially from your perspective as a caster?
I think it would be based loosely on the clans, but you wouldn't necessarily have like a clan score or like a centralized clan ranking based upon team performance, because the teams are often going to be a very small subset of the clans overall. That's I think one of the reasons why they're looking to call it team battle instead of clan battle. It's tough to get an entire clan assembled all at once to queue up on the ladder to find another clan. Oftentimes you only have half a dozen players online at any one given time, and who knows if even the other guys who are online wanted to take place in this team battle. So I think that they would open it up to your friends list and allow you to form teams kind of on a separate basis from clans. Maybe that button does exist on the clan interface there, but it also exists perhaps in your friends list, so that you can build your team from whoever is available to you. But I think that they could potentially have it something set up like a ladder system, and your team is just kind of this entity in the background, separate from your clans, that you'd be able to queue up in alongside 2 or 3 of your buddies. They would have the battles take place simultaneously, so each of the 3 players on your team would engage in combat, and then whichever team gets the most wins, if it were 3-on-3, obviously 2 wins would be enough to claim victory. Maybe you would get some sort of like team trophies or a team rank.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. And I don't know if it's just me or if this is a natural thing, but I love rankings and leaderboards and stuff like that. So it'd be really cool if you can kind of level up your team in some way. And I also think that it's important that it appeals to free-to-play players as well, like the more casual players. So I hope it's not like another gem entry system like challenges are, even though I love challenges. I think that's the best thing that's came to the game. But what are your thoughts as far as rewards go? Like, what would make sense to you? I mean, tournaments right now kind of lackluster. Challenges are where it's at. Do you think it would be another more similar to ladder play, or do you think it would be more similar to like a tournament type format?
I think that they do want to make the more social aspects of the game easily accessible to everyone. So I agree with you that it's less likely that we would see a gem gate, to compete on team battles. It's possible that they would have some sort of tournament format that would exist to have rewards in game, like cards or some other cosmetic reward to acknowledge a team's performance in team battles. I think that the format really does lend itself to tournaments, though. You would want to see lots of teams competing against each other kind of at the same time, and then get a winner overall. So it feels like it would work better with tournaments than just like having a ladder, kind of sitting out there independent from everything else. But I guess until we get more details, it's hard to speculate exactly what we're going to see.
Nah, you're totally right, for sure. So I guess, that we'll probably wrap up the speculation, because we just don't really have any concrete details except for what Clash Royale has told us, which is that they're working on big clan features and they're working on a really big update. And what else? They're looking to revamp tournaments in a big way too. So you're right, it could kind of fall into any of those categories as far as what the update is about. But I know we're going to wrap up this conversation because I'm going to have you actually back on to talk about the current meta, and that video should be out hopefully tomorrow or the next day, so next 2 days, because we're going to go over your card popularity snapshot. And we also have a stream we're kind of working together on prime time this evening. Can you tell us a little bit about your Steal the Crown event before I let you go, man?
Of course. It's been a blast hosting that for Plex Chat Primetime. We've had a huge number of really great ladder and tournament players. Most recently, we've had excellent showings from both Pompeo and C. McHugh, recent global #1 finishers. They've walked away with hundreds of dollars combined. Pompeo actually got $100 total from his 11-win run. But it's a sort of King of the Hill style event where the more number of wins you're able to rack up in a row, the more money you get. If you lose a battle, the crown goes to the player that defeated you, and they get a chance to do the same. So there's also viewer prizes and a lot of interaction with everyone who's watching the stream. We ask people, how many wins do you think that the top player is going to get, and how many times is the crown going to change hands? Who's going to hold it at the end? So it's a whole lot of fun, and it's a pleasure to be able to do that alongside some of the best in the community, including you. You are the leading starting figure in the Plex Chat Primetime event.
Yeah, man, you put on thank you, and you put on such a good show. Like, I didn't catch it last week because it was like 5 a.m. in Estonia, but the week before, man, you were definitely the highlight, in my opinion, of the Plex Chat Primetime. So, guys, you should check that out tonight. I'll include all the links. You guys probably already know Woody by now and know his Twitch handle, but I'll include myself as well. I'm kicking it off with the Bren Chong in Plex Chat sponsored CWA Champions Cup Season 2, and then Colton has the Gauntlet Challenge number 2, and then Woody finishes things off strong again with the Steal the Crown. So I'll link all that information for you guys. Woody, any other parting words before we let you go, man?
I'm just so excited for this next update. We expect it to come in early mid-March, and so it should just be in the next couple of weeks here. I'll give a shout out to the clan that I lead, Reddit Alpha. Hope that you guys will check by and stop in and see if it's a good fit for you. We are a global top 20 clan. We were number 12 actually at the end of last season. So
Congrats, man.
Yeah, if you're in the 5K plus trophy range, that's a good place to stop by. I also stream on Twitch, WWoody123. So I'll be doing Steal the Crown tonight. So please stop by. And then I tweet on Twitter, Woody_CR is the handle where you can find me.
Fantastic, man. Guys, again, all those links will be in the show notes in the description. Woody, thanks again so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, dude. Look forward to talking to you soon about the metagame.
For sure. Guys, stay tuned for that meta episode that I talked about. Thank you so much for watching today. Thanks again to my YouTube partner, Bren Chong. And guys, thank you. As always, take care.